So, what should I talk about on YouTube? So, accountability, can't force the person to be accountable. It's something they gotta want to do, and you hold people accountable because they now want to accept accountability. So, what now?
You can talk
I talked about parenting a little bit. Like, I could talk about anything,
about
but like, what would you like to hear?
advice on.
I'm gonna put you on YouTube. You ready?
No.
Why not?
No, I'm not ready for that. But I could like be in it, but not face visually. I could like read stuff to you, like questions and stuff like that, and you would answer them. But I don't want to be like on the
You don't want to be seen.
yeah, not yet. My voice could be on there, but I gotta look right.
Look, I'm finna go in there just like this with all my natural glow.
Not
Okay,
yet.
so give me the comment. You said advice.
Advice on how to maintain yourself
Advice on how to maintain yourself.
as a
Meaning,
female and
like,
a male, or well, a female. 'Cause, yeah,
okay, so to advise females on how to maintain themselves,
yeah,
as far as what? Like, what do you mean?
hygiene. Uh,
Hygiene?
no,
Like how to clean
it don't matter
themselves?
like age group.
It don't matter. Like, I'm just taking whatever you say, I'm gonna start talking
Advice
about it and I'm gonna
on
post it.
advice on friends, who to be with, who don't be with, pros and cons of people like say for instance your friend group,
Mm-hmm.
but they do bad stuff like smoke and drink, but you don't do that because I mean it's your friend group. Is it a bad friend group to be around? A good friend group, stuff like that.
But okay, so I mean, I get what you're saying, right? Okay, so I'm gonna restate it because I'm recording. So I'm gonna restate it. So your advice on how to maintain a good friend group,
Yes.
but
Good
then you're
relationship.
saying,
Yeah.
well, quality relationships, but then you're saying like if they smoke, if they drink, but those are your friends, like is that good or bad? What they do has no bearings on you. Like I know their sayings like, the flock,
Yeah.
birds of a feather flock together, right? But there's many reasons why people hang out with each other. So the idea is to have, like what you said, quality relationships. Whether a person smokes or drink has, I mean, it plays a role on the type of person they are, but it is more of a magnifier, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
usually people who drink a lot, right, their addiction has nothing to do with you. However, their addiction magnifies who they are if they're a drinker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So usually you'll be like, oh, well, they acting out of character. No, it just takes out their inhibitions so they don't pretend anymore. So you get to see who they really are. So if that person is drunk and they still helpful to you, then that's a person who's a helpful individual, period. You get what I'm saying? So other people's perspective on them being a drunk or, they smoke too much or whatever, that's their perspective. That has nothing to do with you. How are those people manifesting themselves in your life? Does that make sense? So even if it's a person who smoke, you smoking isn't what makes you good or bad.
Peer pressure.
But a person
If they
who,
were peer pressure.
but if that individual is peer pressuring you, that means that they're pushing you against yourself, which means that you shouldn't be around that person. But if that person just asks you and say, "Hey, you want to smoke?" and you say, "No, I don't smoke," and they be like, "Okay, do you want to try?" That's just them being inquisitive, right? But if you've made it very clear with your setting your boundaries, "Hey, I love hanging around you. I like being around you. I don't smoke. You don't have to ask me." Da 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 da. Them asking you doesn't really change it, because like people change their mind. Like 1 minute they might be like, oh, this bad to smoke. You get what I'm saying? But then you hang around a smoker long enough, you're gonna be like, they don't seem like they bad people. But if that person asks you again 20 days from now, hey, you want to try this? It's up for you to keep up and maintain your boundaries. That person is just offering, right? Because That's like me, you come to my house and I say, you want something to drink? If this is something I'm doing, right, I'm partaking in, I'm going to ask you, hey, you want something to drink? What you got? Well, I got some water, I got some soda. Which one you want? And if that's something that they do as a habit, I don't feel like that's peer pressure. But if there's something here, try this, get this. You don't know what you're missing, man. Come on, man. Da 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 da. Then you have to have boundaries set up for yourself to say, okay, yo, I told y'all I don't want none of this, da da da. And then you move around, right? You can't force you can tell a person what you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that, da da da. But if they keep overstepping, then you move around and stop hanging out with them. And they could be good people still, but you don't want that in your space.
You can do advice on.
But did that make sense though?
Yeah.
You sure? You got people peer pressuring you?
You know.
You sure?
But other people, I be like when we got this thing at our school where you write what you're feeling, but like it's unknown, so like you don't put your name when you bring them out.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they read it out.
And people feel like they're being peer pressured to do drugs
Yeah. Yeah.
or to be sexually active.
To be both. No, the girl has said to smoke cigarettes.
I mean, to each his
I
own.
haven't heard that one. Sexually active. I haven't heard that one before.
You don't feel like people being peer pressured to have sex
Yeah.
um, just to do drugs.
I haven't heard one of those, but it's always been smoking or drinking or getting to do something your parents won't let you do, like sneaking out or like being disruptive at school, like, oh, let's go, I don't know, steal out of the teacher's line. I don't know, it's like that. They do that at our school. They be stealing from the teachers.
Yeah, I mean, but that, and there again, like what you're saying, a lot of times that don't make a person, to me, because everybody's different. You get what I'm saying? A lot of times that don't make a person good or bad. Even with them like trying to steal from this or or go against their parents or whatever. Those are just lines that you want to push. Like you guys are at an age, you get what I'm saying? 15, 16, 17, 18, let's say even 18 years old, where it's about exploring. At every age group, every age level, there's a different uh, there's a different term. You get what I'm saying? Or a different expression of exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like when you, let's start off like little kids. When you 1, 2, 3 years old, you start feeling on yourself because you like, what is this stuff? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But people will be like popping their hands. Don't touch that. You don't do that. Don't da da da. And then they be like, don't let other people, touch you here and da da da. I get it. It needs to happen, right? There needs to be warnings and the conversation needs to be had. But them touching on themselves as a child is exploration. It's not so much a good or a bad thing. Does that make sense? Okay, when you get older, just like what I said, it's exploration. Kids are looking to discover the world. So 9 times out of 10, when you're small, everything goes in your mouth first. You get what I'm saying? Or you go in the kitchen and you want to head to the stove. It's one of the biggest appliances that's there. You get what I'm saying? But what people don't remember a lot of the times is, okay, you got this stove, you done told the child, hey, don't touch this, it's hot. Well, maybe that child don't even understand what hot means, or you'll go, ow, ow. You get what I'm saying? Because you're trying to get the child to comprehend what pain is, what hot is, how they can get hurt. But there has to be some type of safe exploration that takes place as well. So like if a parent picked up the child and had turned on the stove and don't place the hand on the stove but above it so that they can feel the heat, then it's like, do you understand? Like you have to build in those, right? So the same thing happens even when you get older. Like a lot of kids, oh well, we stealing, we doing this. Okay, if I was to take you and give you a job, right, and force you, well, I don't want to say force, but make you earn your money, then you'll have more appreciation. At least that's the idea, right? You have more appreciation of how to work for money, how to utilize money, how to spend money, how to save money. But I have to take you through all these these different levels of it. I can't just sit here and say, save your money. You need every time you get a check, save some of your money. Da 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 da. But if I show you that process, you can understand it better. Because when somebody told me that a long time ago, you want to you want to pay yourself first, save 10% out of every check. Well, I was doing that, but then something happens to where, okay, now I need to spend this money too, because I got to fix the car, or I got to do this, got to do that. Nobody ever sat down and say, okay, well, let's plan out how we pre-plan for our money. You get what I'm saying? So you're planning your plans ahead of time. When I realized that, that was a shocker to me. Like, you plan out, okay, this is your check. Let's say you got $1,000. Okay, out of $1,000, how much does it take for you to pay your electricity bill, water bill, cable, all this other stuff?
You gonna have no more money left.
Well, for most people, but we're gonna make it all small numbers so we can fit it all there together. You get what I'm saying? So let's say you get $1,000, 500 goes towards rent.
500 left.
Right, you got 500 left. We're gonna even be nice enough to say that electricity and water is included in rent. So I'm not gonna pay for cable because I can go to my cousin's house, or I can watch it on my phone or whatever else. So I got 500 already out, 500 left. Okay, well, I still need to pay myself, so I'm gonna put back $100. Right. Then, okay, what if something does happen to my car? You get what I'm saying? So now I need to strategically plan out. I need to put $10 every time I get a check into a savings for car issues, just in case. You get what I'm saying? $10 into a savings for house, if I want to upgrade the house. And all of these numbers are small, but let's say ultimately you got $100 that's going towards just saving for rainy days, for other things, appliances, whatever have you. But if you have that there, say you don't need it for 7 years. Say you got a brand new car, you don't need it. You only need, your maintenance done. Well, if you don't save $10 every month, that's $120 times 7 years. What you looking at? You got over $7,000. But you put away only $10 at a time. And then you did that times whatever. You get what I'm saying?
For so long.
Right. Because everything, yes, it seemed like everything breaks at the same time, but everything is not breaking today. So it's compounded. You get what I'm saying? But people don't teach us that to make us think that way. They'll just say, oh, just put a small bit away and look how much money you can have and da da da. But you got to show a person how to do that and how to put, say we go back to that, we got $300 left, right? Easily it's going to cost you, let's say $200 just for food. You got $100 that's gas, so you can get back and forth.
Yeah.
But if you've already planned this stuff out, let's say you got $200 for food, but like what your grandmama do, y'all can come over and eat on Sunday. Okay, that's one less meal I got to worry about. Then she say, I cook every other day. Instead of me being one person, now trying to figure out how I'm going to feed myself or whatever else, I can say, okay, cool. Maybe I can purchase some stuff for a meal here and come over here and eat more often, whereas I don't have to spend $200 into that. You get what I'm saying? Maybe that'll knock me down to $100, and then okay, I can pack my lunch, or I can, say you got another friend. If I invite my friend over here, maybe we can switch up. If I give my friend this meal, then they'll bring me a meal, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be strategic about how you plan stuff out so that you can make it. Or you go to this party, or you network with these people. If you go to networking events, a lot of times they be at different venues, so you eat for free. You get what I'm saying? But that's a hustler mentality, because those are the go-getters who are always trying to figure out how I can flip money. But if your mindset isn't there, you get what I'm saying? Like, how, what's next? But we don't have these conversations that often, especially with youth like yourself. So when these kids go to school, all their parents doing is giving them money. Oh, here you go, boom. No allowance, no nothing. They're not working for it. So they don't understand how these other individuals have to work hard to get their money. So then, okay, well, I can steal this from them because they ain't worried about it. they get whatever, like you think higher of a person, not understanding what a person has to go through to get what they have.
That's kind of like me because I gotta work for everything I like. Work for everything I do.
But you appreciate it differently too.
Yeah, it's not more of like,
So the
oh, I just got it.
Right.
It's a different kind of feeling when you work for it.
Right. So when you see kids like having tantrums and throwing stuff, or and you looking like, do you know how much that costs? Oh, my mama done bought me some Jordans. It was $200 something, $300, and you like, bruh, you know what I could have did with $300?
Right.
I could have had a whole wardrobe, about 10 pair of shoes. But it's good to experience that too. Right.
More materialistic.
But there's nothing wrong with that too. Like, you have to appreciate people who are able to do that, because in life it's about having a spirit of gratitude. You get what I'm saying? So when you become grateful for what you have, more things come to you. It flows to you. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't that you necessarily got to work that much harder. You work hard, but some things just come to you just because your gratitude, just because you're grateful. Make sense? Aha. This is just our lovely Sunday afternoons. How exciting.
We went to church.
You went to church. I didn't go to church.
Everybody went to church.
Oh,
and 5 people had got baptized. Well, we didn't see that part. We just seen the tub
filled with water.
Yeah.
How you know they got baptized then?
But they had that white, like it was just.
You seen them come up out the water?
No, they was they was coming from to sit.
It could have been an illusion.
No, they got it.
I'm just messing with you. So y'all went to church. Y'all had a good time. What they talked about? What was the message?
It was a different type of service today. It was like for them, because they were getting baptized. It was more of like give your life to Christ type. We went to Bible study, but it was like about, like, today was about them. I guess they're new and they're visitors, so the whole service was about them because this is their first time. So we had to.
But even when they read from the scripture about whatever they read, you ain't get nothing from it. When they read, that's like in John or something? I don't even know.
No, it was in Psalms 34.
That's what they read?
That's what he read, but then we left after that.
But he didn't talk about how Jesus went and got baptized when
Oh. And then that.
And love one another.
He was like, I don't know why he preached like that. He preached and he go, like, he don't stay on one subject, finish subject. He go to this subject, go to that subject, finish this one, come to that one, start that one. And it's so like, yeah, and he'll go like, I don't know, like he preaches differently.
So but did he tie all of it back together?
I don't know, we left. We didn't finish it like at the end, towards the end. Well, I don't know when it
I be trying to figure out what y'all saying though, because if he talking about love one another, then he talking about the daughter doing what. Did he talk about loving yourself good enough? Because everybody always talk about that, and they be so gassing you up on loving your neighbor that they forget to tell you how to properly love yourself.
He didn't tell us how to properly love ourselves. He was just getting to love your neighbor, love other people like you love yourself.
Yeah, but see,
that's forbidden.
So I'm gonna pause this because I'm gonna keep going. So listen, this is my thing, right? This is what I talk about all the time too. So people, especially like pastors and stuff, they always go to that, and it's like, love your neighbor as yourself, right? And they talk about how you need to love everybody else and give to people and not expect anything back, and they go down this long tangent list about how to make sure that everybody else is okay. But the key part about that, the idea is you have to love yourself first. So what people tend to do is they skip the love yourself portion and they just go straight into loving everybody else, and they pour from an empty cup. And I always talk about that, having like a cup that's half full or half empty, or however you want to look at it, and you trying to pour out of that cup versus you filling yourself up, you being the cup, filling yourself up and loving yourself and appreciating yourself wholly. You get what I'm saying? And when you learn how to love yourself the best, and you love yourself and better than anybody else can love you, you're not coming from a place of lack. And so when your cup is overflowing, right, you give people what's in the saucer. You don't give people from what you have, because when you start pouring from what you have, then you start expecting stuff from people.
Yeah.
And you can't have an expectancy of people. That's a lie. Expectancy is like a goal. How do I look? I'm telling you what your goal is and what it should be, when only you know what you're capable of. So having the capability to do something and actually doing it is two different things. You get what I'm saying?
How do you know when you love yourself?
Because you won't be looking for love from all these other people. Like if you love yourself properly, you know how people always be like, they get in a whole bunch of relationships and they be like, oh, I can't believe he did that to me. He just like this other person, or he da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
But if you was properly loving yourself, you would have left his ass where he was at the first time around. You wouldn't have been sitting up here trying to explain over and over again how this is wrong and this is right and whatever else, because you would love yourself, and the person who loves you would be a reflection of you. So they would love you properly. You get what I'm saying? So that's just like, let's say for me, right? I care about y'all, I love y'all, I come see y'all. Now, if I'm tired, I'm not finna be coming over here and, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I can't this and da da da. Now, I say I'm sleeping because I be sleeping all the time, I be tired. But having that one time saying, oh, I'm tired, like I'm finna go home in a few minutes, that's something different from a person, I'm always over here and y'all just don't da da da. You get what I'm saying? Y'all don't appreciate me because da 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 da. Clearly I don't appreciate myself, because if I did, I would do what I need to do to take care of myself, and then I give. So when you see people doing things like that, or they always complaining about the same stuff over and over, it's something that they're missing, that they need to provide themselves, versus looking for other people to do it for them. So when you get in a relationship and you tell a person, you gotta introduce yourself to somebody, right? But if you tell a person, hey, you was a little slick out the mouth and you called me a B and I don't appreciate that, like, don't talk to me like that. You get what I'm saying? The second time they go and they go, you a B, okay, cool. You walk away. Nobody's more important than you to you. Mm-hmm. Should never be that way.
Don't treat somebody else before you.
At all. Because you're going to expect them to do that, but they don't have to put you before them. You get what I'm saying? Like, you should always be the main character in your story. In your life, you are number one. So when people tell you, oh, you think the world revolves around you? Yes, absolutely. My world should revolve around me just as much as yours revolve around you. Just as much as you feel that I should do all these things for you, I'm not going to. I'm going to do it for myself. And then, of course, I'll still love you. And that way, I'm truly loving you. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when you love yourself more holistically, then you're able to see people where they're hurt, and love people how they want to be loved, but also give them what they need. And that's what a lot of people are missing, because they want to love people how they need to be loved. You got to give you what you need first. All right, y'all. Love you. Bye.